My first impressions of this series was that it's a little cringy. We get action scenes from the character JC, and then he punches a guy, he twirls around, do somersaults, and all of these parkour stuff that doesn't feel as fluid. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right in the story. I felt like they just put action scenes for the sake of having action in the drama. When in the first place, we get a premise that it's very comedic, it's sexually driven with all the skin, all the suggested sex scenes, all of these sexual innuendos and their eyes looking at each other in very tense moments. You get that impression at the first couple of episodes, and then you don't see that. You get action scenes of this guy, JC, twirling around, and it doesn't feel smooth. The execution, the transition of that from drama to a fight scene and then a sexual scene, and then it's just a drama again and then comedic stuff. It's just going back and forth with all of these things. It feels like, please figure out what kind of drama this is, because I can't wrap my head around it. But I did like the fact that it's an ensemble of cast, 3 different couples, 6 different people, each with their own issues. Welcome, I am MC Lorenzo, and today I am reviewing Bangkok Love Stories, Innocence.
She is my mother.
แม่ไม่หรอวะ
ตามน้ำไปก่อนนะเจ๊
For the first couple, we have Claudia and JC. Now, Claudia is an older woman and JC is a younger man. Both of them are trying to get over their issues about their ex. While JC has a fresh ex that actually just left him, Claudia has an ex that has died previously and she can't get over him. It's been years. So they're trying to get into a relationship that they feel like is kind of right, but at the same time kind of wrong. You see more of the hesitance coming from Claudia than JC. I like the fact that we have an age gap relationship, and I like that they're getting over their past lovers. That's nice, and it's a good, stable way for the drama to go through. What I didn't like was the fact that, as I've said earlier, JC keeps twirling around doing parkour stuff in action scenes. That's kind of off for me. And then at the middle of the episodes, he's an artist. I get that people have a lot of interest in their lives and that's okay. But the way it was presented, JC was presented as someone who does action scenes a lot, who does parkour and all of these athletic stuff. And then he's an artist at the couple of episodes and he presents like a mural for Claudia. I don't get that shift of character. It just doesn't feel right in the story. It was kind of forced or was not introduced properly. What I also didn't really like about the couple was the lack of communication. It was kind of a back and forth. Are they a couple? Are they not a couple? Are they dating? It's like they never talk about the serious relationship or the relationship that they want to build on. It's just always like him trying to do things for her and she was just accepting them. They were not really talking about anything at all. So for me, that's kind of a bummer. We have our second couple, which is Eve and Danny. Now, Eve accidentally pretends to be an escort when she delivers a parcel to her boss to sign the contract and all of these things. She meets Danny in the escort bar and Danny kind of, figures out that she might be an escort because she is also in the bar and mostly the women there are escorts. So there's a little misunderstanding that happened at the first scene when they meet. What I don't understand is why did Eve need to keep the lie going? She could have just easily said that I have a stable job, I don't need to be an escort, all of these simple things that you would usually tell at the first time you meet a guy that you actually like to bring the barriers down to sort all of the issues. That's the really normal thing to do, and it kind of behooves me that this woman who's very mature, has a stable job, would lie about something like that. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe that is the character, but it's kind of, I don't get it. There's no compelling reason for her to do that. It's very straightforward. Hey, I'm not an escort. I actually have a job. So that's just a disconnect for me. Also with Danny, he's cute, he's good looking, he's smart, he's a graphic designer, so he's creative. I get all of these things about him. What I don't really get is that he's irritating voice. All of the time, it's very irritating when he calls out for Eve. Like all of the scene, each scene that he has, he keeps on saying, Eve, 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 Eve. Like every single scene, there's Eve, Eve, Eve. Like I don't get it. He's such an he's such a dependent person. He's like a puppy. Eve, 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 Eve. Also, there was a scene between Danny and Eve. Danny kind of passed out, and what Eve does, she picks up her phone and calls Claudia first. Instead of the ambulance, instead for a taxi or any transportation, she calls for Claudia first. What would Claudia do? She just owns a restaurant. She's not a doctor. She's not a nurse. She doesn't work for the medical industry. It just doesn't work. It's just, why are you calling Claudia first instead of the hospital? Claudia even tells her to call for an ambulance. That's just insanely dumb. So Eve, you're kind of dumb. I don't get it. Now for our third couple, we have Simon and Keaton. Now I was kind of excited with how are they going to portray this relationship. Is it going to be someone who's still trying to be in the closet, trying to come out, or someone who's actually gay and just really wants to be gay, and you know, that kind of relationship. I don't know how they were going to attack the LGBT story. Then I came into the episodes. There's a lot of skin, there's a lot of bars, there's a lot of half-naked men, and I get that. It's very sexually driven. That's the way they want to attack the story. Like, that's fine. But then when we get to Simon and Keaton, when we get them together face to face, there are no actual conversations. The conversations that they talk about weren't really in depth. It wasn't really trying to get to know each other. It was just trying to piss off one another. They don't actually talk. They don't discuss things. They don't discuss their feelings. They don't really tell the other person what they want. It's just kind of not there. I don't know what happened with the writing here, but it was just really bad. On the conversations, on what they want, on what they don't really tell that. They just kind of fling insults at each other. And I guess that's the dynamic that they have, but I wanted so much more from the two out of them, and they just don't talk at all. Like the written storylines, it's very easy. It's very like one-liners, two-liners, back and forth for a couple of seconds, and then scene end, scene close, next scene. I don't get it. Why is it like that? There's so much more for them to talk about. Even if they fling insults, there should have been layers of written other things that they could talk about. They just don't exude that proper chemistry of insulting each other. There's nothing there. And I'm so disappointed with that this is potentially a good couple, but there's just nothing. Also, there's a scene in the bar where Simon stands up at the stage and kind of delivers a speech. I don't get why he gets to do that. There wasn't even like a tell that he was awarded most successful throughout their batch. It's just, I don't get it. Why did he have to stand up like that? Nobody even told me, or I didn't really read anything that he is the most successful, or he was the president, or he was the captain of something. Just to make that point valid, it's bad writing. Then we got Janista. Janista is like the cock blocker for Simon, so Simon couldn't get into bed with Keaton. I get that she has a lot of money and she is kind of a sugar mama and all of those things. But what I don't get is why she would call Keaton in the middle of night to have stretching services, like in midnight. And before the stretching services, she goes into a bath and then she does the stretching. Okay, whatever, that's her thing. That's what she wants to do. But then the stretching services turns out to be training, like working out in the middle of the night. I don't get it. Like midnight, you're gonna work out, then you're gonna sleep, and you shower and have a bath before that? It just doesn't make sense. I don't know what. I could understand if she was calling Keaton to have sex with her in the middle of the night. I get that. But you're calling for stretching services that turns out to be a workout. It just it doesn't make sense. I give this a rating of 1 out of 5. What I really liked about this series is the fact that it's a lot of characters. It's a lot of different relationships, different individuals, all coming together, all trying to find love. I love that concept. I'm a sucker for that. But the execution, the way they did the storylines, the way I want to understand their plight, it's just not there. The characters are very empty. The written storylines, the back and forth, the conversations. It's very abrupt. It's very like forced into like, this is what he's going to say. This is what she's going to say. And then like that, it's not fluid. It's not continuous. It's just like words crammed up to each character. So they say this, they say that, and then the plot moves forward. You know, it's just, I didn't feel it. I was wishing that I could get into the story, get into the characters, scream, be excited, you know, have fun or cry, whatever I want to feel like. It didn't happen. I had so much, you know, expectations for this, but then at the end of it, it wasn't just delivering the way I hoped it would. I also didn't like the background sound. It's just whoever did the sound design for this was really bad. It was like inappropriate. Like there was a mismatch of the feelings of the actual story going on, the character conversations. And then we get like a booming sound and then a rushing sound. Like it was supposed to be action. The sound feels like it was supposed to be for action, and then we get dramatics in the conversation. It just doesn't feel right. Whoever did the sound design was really, really bad.
ถ้าแดนนี่รู้สึกแบบนั้นน่ะแดนนี่ทำตามหัวใจตัวเองก็ได้นะ
My recommendation is it's 13 episodes, 45 minutes on each one. There has gotta be a better use of your time. But if you want to see a lot of skin, go ahead and watch it. I think that's the only thing that's good here. It's like the actual adult-oriented, sexually driven scenes. That's it. But after that, there's no actual story here. It was nice to see different couples, and then that's it. If you found this review helpful and enjoyable, do give me a like. If you want to see more reviews on Asian drama TV series and films in the future, definitely hit that subscribe button and that notification bell if you want to be notified for future videos. I leave you with my favorite scene. Actually, there's not much of my favorite scene. What I like about the actual series are the characters of the mother of Simon. I think she has more storyline there and she has more drama. I wish it was about her instead of the other characters. And I like the other transgender, Claudia's friend. She was really exciting. Like her storyline was really in depth. Although it was the scenes that we see from her were very short. But if they would have explored how she was picked up in the dumpster and how she came to be now and how she found love, all of those tidbits, all of those small things could have been really spectacular, and I wish they could have just focused on that. But yeah, what do I know? That's it.